I'm Nick Feldman and I'm an instructor at Point Blank Music School, as well as a music producer with recent releases on labels Ears to the Future and Jigsaw. In this video, I'm going to look at creating a track centered around a vocal engine called Exhale by Output. If you want to learn more music production techniques, you can find out more about the courses we offer in London, Los Angeles and online at pointblanklondon.com. So Exhale is the latest release from Output, who recently received acclaim for their Rev and Signal libraries. All of these libraries are for Native Instruments' flagship sampler Contact, but you can still use them in the free Contact player if you don't have a full license. There are three ways to play Exhale. You have note mode, loop mode, and slices mode. But all sounds are triggered using MIDI, and then these pass through Exhale's comprehensive effects engine. We'll just have a quick look underneath the hood by clicking on the engine button here, and we can see the modulator, modulation effects, and insert effects on that page. Exhale is a very deep instrument with several layers to peel back, making it somewhat of a sound designer's dream. However, if you're a bit less adventurous, there are a wealth of presets for each section, and to start with, you can also narrow them down by using the category buttons here. Deselect to come back to the full list. Also, to make it easy to work with these presets or your own presets that you might build in the future, there are 4 macro sliders here. These are for easy control of multiple parameters, from the dry wet control, adding breath and air, dirt, shape, or a kind of talk effect, but it really depends what you then assign those sliders to in the engine section. As I said, it gives you a quick and easy way to alter the presets to fit your own particular track. Some of these macro controls sound better in static positions, while some benefit from movement, either from an assigned MIDI controller or from some automation or even a Max for Live control device. These parameters can be made accessible to Ableton Live by clicking the Configure button down here in the third-party device window. Then all you have to do is simply click on the macro sliders themselves to expose them in the panel here. The automation has already been assigned inside Contact, which is sometimes an extra step you would have to do. Notes mode is a fully playable polyphonic vocal instruments, and they alone cover a lot of ground. In these instruments, there is a fairly narrow range of notes to work with, about 3 octaves worth, but this usually suffices, and of course it's because these samples started life as real vocalists. So I'm just going to play through some of the sounds that you've got in the notes section. When playing through the sounds, I kind of decided to work on an IDM electronica kind of tip, and so I've made a beat which kind of reflects that. So washing those drums in so much reverb and filter edits wouldn't necessarily fit every sort of style, but it kind of suits the electronica IDM sort of vibe that I was going for it, and it means it kind of blends well with the sounds that I chose to use from note mode. So we've got everything here from kind of talking bass sounds, eerie kind of pads. So I've gone for quite a towering effect with those sounds there. To create one of the big sense of dimension in that, but we also have some other kind of sounds within the note mode as well. So we have in this next kind of extract of this little piece, we have some arpeggiated sounds, we have some more eerie vocals because I'm a bit of a fan of those, and we also have some stuff that work more as chords. Again, I think some of these sounds show off the kind of range you can get from sampling vocalists. So that's the kind of note mode where you can freely play it more like an instrument. And I've tweaked about the macro sliders on those a little bit. But let's look at some of the other two modes that we've got available. So loops is the next category. And each preset, there are a bank of 13 loops which match the tempo of your project, meaning that it's easy to work them into an existing track. So I'm just going to play through some of the presets that I picked out. And as I say, this is a bank of 13 different loops, but they all work together as kind of one kit. And it works very well to be able to piece them together into some kind of rhythmic format. And we have some other kind of presets like this. The one I actually chose to integrate into the beat that I'd made is a different preset here, double voice. So that's loops. Again, when you come to the engine underneath the hood, as it were, you can change your sound source altogether. You can change certain things like the formant shifting, a volume envelope. You can also change the playback speed, which in here plays in time with your master tempo. So we're playing back at the current sort of standard speed at the moment, but we can halve that and we can double it. For all of the things, whether it's notes, loops or slices, you can adjust EQ, so the ADSR envelope. And also you can change certain things like whether it's velocity sensitive or if it runs in monophonic mode to avoid notes tripping up over each other. Underneath that, as I said, you have the rhythm section. So this is a modulator, either in the form of an LFO or a step sequencer, and this can be applied then to the first set of effects that we have down here. Those effects include volume change, panning, filter, phaser, talk box kind of effect, and saturation. Underneath that, you have some additional effects which don't run off the rhythm section, which is pitch shifting, some extra dirt, motion, compression, some general tone shaping, and delays and reverb to give it a bit of spatial edge to it. Okay, so finally, we'll look at the slices section. And this differs slightly insofar as each preset is one vocal phrase which has been chopped into 13 different pieces. All of these slices can be tweaked individually if needs be, but like we saw with the loops, they can also be adjusted as a whole group. For me, the slices and loops is more suited to bass music styles, and as you can hear from this chopped up female vocal, this would suit great for a kind of house or garage track as well. This just means that it has very broad appeal. This library on the outset may seem like it's kind of got a very narrow focus by focusing on vocal sounds alone, but it's such a comprehensive package beyond just the presets, the macro sliders, all of the various effects you can do, which are a really integral part of all of the sounds that are there. And of course you can actually start to build some of these presets yourself from scratch. There's so many sounds in here that cover so many genres that you likely have to lock yourself away for a whole weekend to sift through them all. Once you've found the sounds, of course, there's no end of manipulation you can apply, and it really shows just how far you can go with sampled instruments and how powerful Kontakt is with a front end like this to control it all. So remember that you can learn many more production techniques on the courses we offer at Point Blank in London, Los Angeles and online. Find out more at pointblanklondon.com.